A brazen gangland shock and drive-by shooting outside the Godfather café in broad daylight led to the downfall of two rival drug gangs. Two men were sat in the café in Cheetham Hill. A Mercedes slowly cruised by, causing a group, including the men, to go outside and investigate. A family of 8 walked past before 3 to 4 gunshots were fired at the group of men. They split up, running in different directions, but the two had been brutally hit to the legs. One suffered serious fracture to his ankle, and the other had a deep bullet wound. Following the disturbing attack, the mad gunman was helped to flee the country by his brother and still remains at large. His brother, Ahsan Shabbir, and 4 other men have been imprisoned for their involvement in the deadly shooting, as well as for a raft of drug dealing offences. Manchester Crown Court heard that on the afternoon of November the 15th, 2019, a group of males were seated inside the Godfather Café on Copthall Lane at around 2:30 p.m. A Mercedes driven by Hazar Anwar drove slowly down the road, almost coming to a stop outside the café. The front seat passenger was alleged to be Ahsan Shabbir, and Daniel Ahmed was sat in the back of the car. The group of people who were sitting inside saw the car and left the café to pursue it, prosecutor Alaric Bassano said. As they approached the car at the junction with Cheetham Hill Road, the front seat passenger pointed a pistol towards them and opened fire, causing the males to run back up Copthall Lane, he said. 2 of the fleeing males stumbled as they were struck by live rounds fired from the gun. They sustained serious leg wounds, for which they received hospital treatment. Footage of the shooting showed a family, including 5 small children, walk past the scene moments before the criminal gunman opened fire. One witness said there was a lot of people in the area at the time and someone could easily have been seriously injured or killed during this shocking incident. Anwar drove them from the scene and abandoned the car nearby, where they all fled. They were met by Ahsan's brother Ahsan. Ahsan and Anwar took a taxi together, and Ahmed got a separate taxi, the court heard. Anwar enlisted his girlfriend Zain Safraz to report to the police that the car, hired in her name, had been stolen. She had since been convicted of perverting the course of justice. Ahsan Shabbir then assisted his brother by ordering him a taxi away from the area, buying him food and drink, whilst he hid in a house to evade capture, and then booked a flight for him to leave the country. The flight was later cancelled, and Ahsan left the country via port in southern England the following day. Ahsan remains at large, believed to be still outside the UK, Mr. Bassano said. The court heard that following the shooting, each of the defendants were arrested for drug dealing, together and individually. Anwar trafficked heroin and crack cocaine from 2016 to 2021. Messages showed that his girlfriend, Safraz, was aware of his drug dealing activity, and he later admitted to working under the direction of Ahsan. He claimed he was paying off a drug debt, but continued dealing for the cash. Anwar sought to portray himself as a drug addict and was denied he was Ahsan's right-hand man, Mr. Bassano said. Ahmed's home was searched following the shooting, in which police found a burner phone containing flare messages where he advertised sniff, flake and kept for sale. Ahsan Shabbir was also involved in heroin and cocaine dealing, stating he was inspired by his brother Ahsan. Shabbir and Reese Hing had their own drugs line. They had both previously been released under investigation following the shooting, but months later had both dived back into the drug dealing world. Following a search at a flat in Crumpsall, officers found Shabbir, who tried to throw bags of drugs out of a window, as well as numerous wraps of cocaine and heroin. The flat was a safe house being used to store the drugs and belonged to a drug user. Hing and Mujaba Saeed also had their own drugs line, which they were operating out of a flat in Prestwich. When they raided the flat, Hing tried to escape through a window and Saeed barricaded himself in the bedroom. Officers recovered $1,200 worth of Class A drugs and a handgun which contained Saeed's DNA. Anwar, Hamid and Hing were said to have no previous convictions. Shabbir had previous convictions for driving offences and Saeed had previous convictions for possession with intent to supply Class A drugs and wounding and possession of a bladed article. Mitigating for Anwar, Keith Harrison said he was carrying out the dealing at the behest of a man who has not faced justice. In relation to the shooting, he said he was not the lead offender. Judy Grant, mitigating for Ahmed, said his client was under no illusion as to the length of his sentence, adding that it was out of character. He does not try and lay the blame anywhere else. On behalf of Shabbir, Hannah Ahmed said that he was concerned about a revenge attack and so helped his brother get out of a difficult situation. For Hing, Callum Ross said he was acting under direction and took the opportunity when he should not have done. And for Saeed, who refused to attend court, Ronan Maguire said he was addicted to heroin and crack cocaine and became involved in dealing to pay off various debts. This kind of business is prolific in Manchester. There has to be a deterrent sentences, Judge Goddard said. Sentencing, she said this was the shooting of two males in broad daylight. A family with children were sat in the area at the time. Members of the public were in the area at the time. She said the victims were deliberately sought out and described Anwar as a trusted lieutenant. Hazar Anwar, 31 of Redfield Close, Beswick, was jailed for 22 years and 9 months. Daniel Ahmed, 25 of Esmond Road, Cheetham Hill, was jailed for 12 years and 6 months. Ahsan Shabbir, 21 of Greenstead Avenue, Cheetham Hill, was jailed for 9 years and 4 months. Reese Hing, 21 of Bannerman Avenue, Prestwich, was jailed for 6 years. Mujtaba Saeed, 23 of Halliwell Lane, Cheetham Hill, was jailed for 7 years. Zain Safraz of Hyde Park Road, Halifax, previously received a suspended prison sentence after admitting perverting the course of justice. Ahsan Shabbir still remains at large. Please like this video, please comment, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.